Hello.
Sarge, what's up, dude?
Hey, Robin Slim.
Oh, Sarge Carlson. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Good, good.
All right.
You're a military sergeant and a podcaster from Minnesota, correct?
Former military sergeant.
Okay.
I'm out of that business, and I am now in the podcasting business.
Nice.
Happy to be here.
I'm happy, glad that you are having me on the show. I'm excited. This should be fun.
Happy to have you on, dude. I love your show. I checked it out. It's really cool hangout, like interview style show. Very cool.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, dude. How long did you serve in the military for?
I was in for 6 years.
Okay. Were you in combat?
I was, yes. I served over in the sandbox in Kuwait and Iraq for a year and a half tour from 2004 to 2006.
Was it rough? Like, I mean, I guess it wasn't easy, but
yeah, it definitely had its rough moments. Not every day was bullets and bloodshed, but
Yeah.
it happened often enough. I was military police, so I was right in the thick of it.
Wow. And how did you get into podcasting? Like, was that something you wanted to pursue when you got out, or like did it come up in thoughts, or is it something you discovered after you got out?
Honestly, I joined the military when I was 17 years old, and I'm 34 now.
Okay.
So I've been out for about 10 years now.
Cool.
And I didn't even know what a podcast was about a year and a half ago.
Wow.
I'd never heard of a podcast. Didn't know they existed. Kind of stumbled upon the whole genre. A buddy that I knew was always listening to something with his earbuds, and I asked him one day what it was, and he said it was Mark Maron podcast, WTF. And I was like, oh, I know who that is. I love comedy. I'm a big fan of comedy, and I'd heard his stand up. So I checked it out, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Can I say shit on this show?
Yes.
Yeah, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
All right, cool, because I just said it twice. And so that's what introduced me to podcasts was Mark Maron's show. And then from there, started discovering other ones like Joe Rogan and a lot of other comedian podcasts and whatnot. And one day, I'd always wanted to be a radio DJ. I always thought it would be cool to be on the radio as one of those radio personalities or a sports talk radio dude or something.
Yeah.
But knew that was probably the chances of that happening were pretty slim. It's not like there's regular job openings for those kind of jobs.
I worked in radio for a few years, a long time ago, and I remember one of the first things one of the jocks told me was, you'll never, unless you're like Stern or Opie and Anthony, you'll never make a lot of money doing it. You'll just be comfortable.
Right.
So that's another thing.
Which I was okay with.
Yeah.
But those jobs are few and far between, and they're it's a dying field now.
Yes, absolutely.
I never listen to the radio unless I'm listening to my local sports talk radio. Otherwise, couldn't care less. Podcast is what I listen to all day.
Nice.
And and so once I realized that podcasts were a thing, I was like, holy shit, I think this is something I could maybe do. And so I talked to Melissa Frenzy, a co-host on the show, about it.
Yes.
Brought it the kind of an idea to her, and she loved it. And we didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea what we were doing. We just had to figure it out on our own. We didn't have anyone to guide us. Just a lot of research and trial and error.
How did you meet Melissa?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. How did you meet Melissa, Sarge?
Well, I've known her for over 2 years now. And we don't have like a meet cute or anything like that. So that's what you refer to it as.
What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
I say we don't have like an exciting story of how we met or anything.
Oh, okay.
You guys were just in a store one day and you're like, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Oh, good.
Like,
cool.
Let's do a podcast.
Hey,
Yeah.
Who's that hot blonde over there? I'm gonna ask her if she wants to do a show with me.
Yeah.
Nice.
But now we're a little over a year into it, and we just released our 100th episode today.
Congrats. I was gonna say I didn't know you released it yet. I was gonna ask what you had in store for the 100th.
Yeah, well, we ended up doing originally we were going to have a good friend of ours, a fellow podcaster, Larry Roberts. He hosts the Readily Random podcast, and he was a guest one time, and we had him back on the show like probably 5 or 6 times after that as a guest host. And so he would help do hosting duties with whatever guests we had on, and so we're like, oh, we got to have him as our guest for the 100th.
Yes.
And then that day, I was driving home, and I was like, man, we should see if we can get some of our other friends and past guests on. And so like last minute, we just started messaging some of our friends and former guests, and ended up doing like this party episode where we had like comedian Eddie Ift joined us, Sam Tripoli, Daniele Bellelli, actor Brian DeSanto. Larry was on the whole time with us, so he ended up being kind of a guest host.
Cool.
And we had who else? We had some fellow friend podcasters of ours, the Damaged Goods show. They joined us, and then another guy, Avery Sheppy, he's just a guy that we ended up meeting one time with when we were hanging out with Eddie Ift, and he's just a hilarious fucking dude, and he talks about how he's gonna murder Eddie Ift all the time. So nice. we gotta have this guy on. So it ended up being like a big party, an all-star, super all-star shit show is what we called it.
Nice. Who I see you.
It was a lot of fun.
You've had a lot of guests.
We got
You got drunk?
We got drunk, we got ripped, and we just laughed our asses off for 2 hours.
Nice. I was going to say, I saw you've had a lot of guests like that. Comedians, martial artists, veterans, and musicians and stuff. Like, what's been your favorite interview of all of them?
Oh, geez, that's a tough one. I don't think I could pick a favorite.
Yeah.
There's, most of the guests we've had on are awesome, especially getting to know these people. You get to sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours plus, and really get into a conversation. And just how often do people do that these days, unless they're on like a podcast or something?
That's it. Yeah. Like I got one friend, Ricky, who says, he's like, you're the only one that calls me. Like, and I don't even know the last time I called him, but he's like, I love it. Like getting to talk on the phone. Like it's been years since we even spoke, but he's like, nobody calls anymore.
Well, everyone's conversations these days are these short little snippets. You have, you're shooting somebody a text message or an instant message on Facebook or something. You never sit down and like actually get into the nuts and bolts of a topic or a conversation anymore. Yes. And that's one of the beautiful things about podcasts. You get the chance to do that and be yourself. No one's there telling you what you can and can't do.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
I think the worst is when people actually try to have conversations through like text messaging, and you get like 3 or 4 fucking text messages that is all one paragraph. And
I'll say that I can't read all this, or I can't type all of this. It's too long to even type. Like, call me, It's that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yes.
I don't like talking to people outside of the podcast. I'm kind of antisocial in real life.
I kind of do fall into that. Yeah, like where it's like, I don't really talk to anybody, but on the show when it comes to different people.
And the nice thing is you get to choose who you're talking to.
Yes.
You get to decide, like, this person seems interesting. I want to hear their story. I want to hear, I want to get to know them. And you get to make that decision.
Yes.
Instead of, bumping into some stranger who wants to have idle chit-chat about the fucking weather or the local sports team or whatever. And you're like, I don't want to talk to you right now.
I remember
Not
once
interested.
I had a job, and it was like, after doing this show, I go to that, and I'd be like, I gotta deal with you fucking people. You scumbags. I was talking to cool people last night, and now I gotta deal with you shitheads. Like, and I still feel like that. I still feel like that when I gotta go to work the next morning. It's like, oh, you.
So you guys are on the East Coast.
Yes, yeah, we're right on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, Southern Jersey.
Yeah. Jersey boys. Okay. We've got a mutual friend that you were saying has been on your show before, Ron Barba.
Yes, I listened to that episode. He's a good guy. He's fucking hilarious.
Love that guy. Ron Barba is the shit.
He is so cool.
Such a cool guy.
When did you have him on?
Well, let's see. It was, I don't know, a couple of months ago, I think.
Probably about the same, I feel like, for us. Yeah, a couple of months ago.
I could probably look back in my calendar here.
Yeah.
When was Ronnie? Oh, Ronnie Barba. That was back on November 13th.
Yeah, I can't. This is my new schedule. I get a new planner every year, so yeah, I don't have that one. But yeah, he was a great guest. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a fucking sweetheart too.
Yes,
nicest guy.
Yeah, he's a real guy too.
Did you guys get a chance to hear that song he did a while back? That Bob Ross song.
I don't think I heard that one. I did hear a couple of his songs though. I did love his songs.
We played it on our episode when he was on with us.
Nice.
He did this song about Bob Ross where he played Bob Ross, and it's called "That's Why I Don't Paint People." And Bob Ross paints trees and landscapes and shit. It's funny, and it's actually a really catchy song. Like, it gets stuck in your head.
Oh, we'll have to check that out. We'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, look that up on YouTube. It's pretty good.
Nice. What do you know what you're gonna do for your next episode? How often do you record them, Sarge? Is it like weekly?
We were doing way too many. We were doing we were averaging about 8 episodes a month.
Okay, wow.
Somewhere between 8 and 12, and we didn't have like a set. We didn't have a set day. Like, we record on Wednesdays and we release on Thursdays, or we didn't have any kind of set schedule. We were just bringing in guests. We were booked out 3 months in advance for our guests and everything, and it was just getting to be too much. Like, all our sponsors wanted as many episodes as possible, and we ended up deciding to scale back because it was just too much. So now, just this last month, we're gonna do about 4 episodes a month, like 1 a week.
Yeah, that's.
But we're gonna mix it up too, because we want to stay creative. We're gonna have some more of those like all-star shit show episodes. We'll have a bunch of guests stop in.
Nice.
We're gonna have a few little kind of spin-off episodes where it won't be just like our normal format. Something just a little more fun and loose.
Yeah.
We're doing our. Let's see. Coming up on the show, we've got. Let's see. We're done recording for this month. Our last guest we had on was Tony Woods, comedian Tony Woods. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
If you heard of Tony Woods?
I have not. I'm writing him down right now.
Oh, you gotta check him out. He's been in the business for a long time now. He came up with Dave Chappelle. He was actually like Dave Chappelle's mentor in comedy. But we've got Dwayne Perro. He's a veteran author who's been on the show before, coming up in February. We've got this survivalist guy, Alfred Felker. And then comedian Jim Florentine.
He's awesome.
Jim's awesome.
I love Jim Florentine, yes.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Yay! Remember him from Crank Yankers?
Yes!
Oh, God.
Yes!
Yeah.
And
Bob
then we're
Felcher,
supposed
I
to
think
have
he did,
comedian John Heffron on in March or February also.
Cool. How do you find your guests? Do you normally go off Twitter, or do you do something else?
I have no idea. Francie's our guest coordinator. She I completely stay out of the guest booking side of it.
Cool.
She doesn't let me even deal with it. She handles that all herself. She's the one that gets these awesome guests we have.
Awesome. That's super cool.
So I don't know how she does it.
Yeah.
I just a lot of the times, most of the time, I have not spoken a word to any of our guests until they come on and we start recording.
Wow.
It's usually the first time I've talked to them, and she's already been talking to them for weeks,
Yeah.
for months.
Nice. What advice would you give somebody just starting out in podcasting?
Well, depending on what your motivation is for it, if you're looking to just do it as a hobby, just something fun to do with your friends or by yourself, or if you're looking to monetize it, have sponsors, make a career out of it. If you're looking to try to make a career out of it and actually quit your day job, then the best advice I would say is stay at it and don't give up, because the shit doesn't happen right away.
No, I've heard a lot of podcasts. It's like not even that far in, like
half a year.
Yeah, like that they're not Mark Maron, like just want to quit or something.
People are expecting like instant success. Like, why aren't hundreds of thousands of people listening? I've been doing this for a month now.
Yes.
Well, because one, nobody knows who you are, and you've gotta put in the time and the work.
Yeah, it's a grind.
And
I remember one of my buddies
it is a grind.
at the beginning said, yeah, especially like YouTube is such a slow grind.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep at it. Yup, that's what he said.
Yep, keep at it, and like you look at our show, it's on the outside, it looks like it's, people say like, oh, you look like you have a very structured and professional show. And then they come on, they're like, oh, this is totally the opposite of what I was expecting. You guys are just like kind of winging it. Like, because once we start talking, we keep it real and we just have fun.
Cool.
But we try to keep the outside veneer professional as possible.
I like
treat it like
a
business, but treat it like a business, but have fun with it. Don't forget to have fun.
Yeah, I like that you guys do the kind of variety thing with the guests. Like I feel like a lot of people screw themselves over by doing like a niche show. Like It's all about wrestling or whatever. Like,
well, that's the thing. It's the main reason is because we get people on that we think are interesting, that we want to hear about, we want to have a conversation with. And it's always, all our guests are people that are out there chasing their dream, whether it be in comedy or an actor, an author, survival expert, whatever it is. It's people that have decided I'm not a 9-to-5er anymore, and this is what I'm doing for my career.
Yeah.
And, we have nationally known names that everyone knows, and we have people that are still trying to get their name out there, so we can help give them an extra, extend their reach to people. But that's the goal, is people that aren't, we don't have guests on that, work the drive-thru at McDonald's, because that's not interesting. They decided they want to work at McDonald's instead of do whatever makes them actually happy in life. and with the variety of different guests we have on, that reaches a variety of different listeners. There may be people that only listen to the episodes we have with survival experts because they're really into that survival stuff, or they're people that are just really into comedy, so they only listen to the episodes with comedians on.
Did you learn anything from the survivalists that you didn't know before?
Oh, tons. We've had like 5 or 6 guests on that are from that History Channel show Alone. You heard of that show?
Oh yeah.
I haven't heard of that. You have, Slim?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's is that the one where they drop you in the Pacific Northwest and they make you like survive on your own
for like a certain amount of time,
like 50-something days?
Well, yeah. Well, they take like 10 people and they drop them in remote locations in Canada, and on Vancouver Island is where a lot of the seasons were filmed. And you're all by yourself, why it's called Alone. And the competition is whoever lasts the longest, whoever taps out last is the winner.
Yeah.
And so they say like if it ends up being a year, you might be out there for a year. nobody's ever gone that long.
Yeah.
People have been out there for 2-3 months before they're the last person, and then they win like I think it's like $500,000 or something.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so we've had like 5 or 6 of those people on, and every one of them are just amazing, like completely down to earth people. I mean, they're all famous now, but they're just so genuine, and they teach us something every time. We had one of them came to Minnesota and called us up and said, "Hey, you want to come down and meet me, and we'll do a little class for you. I'll teach you how to make fire with a bow drill." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So me and Frenzy went and met up with Tracy Wilson at on the Mississippi River, and she took her own time to show us how to make fire with a bow drill and shit, and showed us some survival stuff.
That's
out
cool.
of the kindness of her own heart.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That is cool. I was going to say, too, with being, like, militarily trained, I figured maybe you knew a lot of that stuff already. That's really cool to hear.
Yeah, they don't... The military training, survival training, doesn't usually delve that deep into those kind of things.
No.
Like bow drills and things like that.
Yeah.
A lot more combat.
Yeah.
Combat training.
Nice.
They could use more survival training, but the chances of you being stuck somewhere by yourself in the military these days are very slim.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We're not wandering through the jungles of Vietnam anymore these days. Where you're never alone in the military.
Sarge, thank you so much for talking to us, dude. It's been really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fun, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And where can everybody find you?
You can find our website, sargeapproved.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on like every podcast platform out there: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Breaker, all that shit. It's all at Sarge Approved. Check us out. Hopefully you like it.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
You too, Sarge.
Take care, man.
Have a good one, man.
Bye.